Okay, so now we're going to do an example of freight, buyer and seller transactions. So be careful with this one because we're doing both the buyer and the seller. So we have two companies. We have Company A and Company B. Company A, you can see right here, Company A sold merchandise on account to Company B on account for $112,000, terms FOB shipping point 210 in 30. So FOB shipping point and 2% discount if they pay within 10 days, net in 30. Cost of goods sold was $67.2. Paid freight of $1,800. Company A paid freight of $1,800. Journalize the entries for the sale, purchase, and payment for both companies. So first of all, we got to see which is which. Which one's a buyer and which one's a seller. Company A sold. So we know that Company A is the seller. We know that it's a 2% discount. And we know that it is FOB shipping points. Okay, that's also the same down here as if this is the buyer. So buyer, 2% discount and shipping point. So since Company A is the buyer, we record the accounts receivable and the sales. But for how much? Well, we want to take the 2% discount. We make the assumption they're going to take the discount. So we take the 112,000 times 2%, and we subtract that number from 112. So 112 minus 224. Oh, 11.2. There we go. So 109, so 2240. I had a zero missing. 109,760, and that would be the amount of my sales as well. There's no discount or issue with discounts on the cost of goods sold. And inventory. There's always two parts to a sales transaction. We do the seller for 67.2, and the inventory goes down by 67.2. So that's just the sale itself. We'll do the sale for the buyer in a minute. I'm going to do all of the seller, and then we'll do all of the buyer all at once. So next it says that Company A paid the freight of $1,800, but was it their responsibility? It was FOB shipping point, so it was not their responsibility, which means even though they paid it, so let's record the fact that they paid it first, it's the easy part. They paid $1,800 in cash. Since it was not their responsibility, because it's FOB shipping point, this means they're going to bill this to their customer instead. They're going to add this, tack this onto the invoice and say you owe us $1,800 for the shipping because it was their legal responsibility to pay it. So this is going to be accounts receivable to show that they owe them an additional $1,800. Okay, now that's the record of the sale and the freight. And now we need to record the receiving of the payment. So how much should the payment be? The payment should be, if they paid it all, and they assume that we did, should be the amount of the accounts receivable in total, which is 111. So I just took the 109 plus the 1,800, so 111,560, and that should zero out my accounts receivable. So I need to reduce my accounts receivable by the same amount, 111,560. So that is the whole transaction only for Company A, only the seller, FOB shipping point, 2% discount. And receiving the sale, and them paying, the Company A paying for freight and asking Company B to reimburse, and then the payment itself. All right, Company B, so same scenario, but now we are the buyer. So the buyer records the inventory and records it, since it's their responsibility, at the full amount, not only the, and we already did the math, so I don't need to do it twice, of the discounted amount. So they took 112,000 minus the 2240. They also need to tack on this accounts receivable. So effectively, it's the same number. This 111,560 is what this company would record the inventory and accounts payable for. Then when they actually paid it, it would just be accounts payable would be reduced, and cash would be reduced, for the same amount. So you can see in this case, the buyer's transactions are much more simple than the seller's transactions.